There's some rough areas outside of D.C. Yeah, everybody should go to the ghetto. I was taken to the ghetto one time. That's the worst. When you get taken and you're not expecting to go. You know, usually you want to know when you're going to the ghetto, like, I'm going to see some wild shit. I got to prepare myself. I'm going to see something crazy. When you're taken, it's different. I had a limousine driver. It was after a show. It was late at night. It was like 3 in the morning. I had a limousine driver. He was a nice guy talking to me and shit. Oh, hey, where you from, dog? D.C.? Word? That's a rough city, man. And his cell phone started ringing. Hold on 1 second. Hello? Oh, what's up, nigga? What? What the fuck? Slow down. What? What the fuck? No! 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 Fuck that, nigga. Fuck it. I'm on my way. Woo. Hey. I gotta make a stop real quick. At 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know he was taking me to the ghetto at first. I started looking out the window. I was like, what the fuck? Gun store, liquor store, gun store. Where the fuck are you taking me? This don't look good. He didn't say shit. He just pulled up in front of an old rickety building that looked like a project. Now, I'd never been there before. I'm not sure if it was a project, but it certainly had all the familiar symptoms of a project. A fucking crackhead ran this way. And then another one jumped out of a tree and shit. And I said, I'll be right back. And left me. Took the keys with him and just left me. At 3 o'clock in the morning, in front of a project, in a fucking limousine. This was not good. I was like, man, I gotta look around and see if I can see some landmarks and figure out where I'm at. Might have to escape on foot. Now, this is when I knew I was in a bad neighborhood. You only see this in the worst neighborhoods. Remember, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I look out the window. It was a fucking baby standing on a corner. Look at this. And the baby didn't even look scared. He was just standing there. I mean, it made me sad. It made me sad, really. You know, because I wanted to help the baby. I was like, I don't trust you either. I'm sorry. Click. Click. The old baby on the corner trick, eh? I'm not gonna fall for that shit. Where's this limousine driver? You know, I start feeling bad. As time goes by, I start feeling worse. Like, man, what is wrong with me? What the hell is wrong? I'm scared of a baby. I mean, this baby could be in trouble. He might need my help. I gotta do something. But I wasn't gonna get out the car. I'm serious, man. I just cracked the window a little bit. There's an old limousine. I can roll it down and shit. Hey, baby. Baby, go home, man. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck are you doing up? The baby said, I'm selling weed, nigga. I said, oh,
shit. Right now. All right. Anyhow, yeah, man, I would love to, we're going right now, by the way. I would love for you to, well, 100 is stretching it, but dude, like, at least like it'd be awesome if God gave us all, like, huh?
Like in my 60s.
Well, you're basically like that now, you know. But I mean, you're not immobile. You're mobile. You do it all, man.
Yeah.
But to get like you into your early 90s, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's still 20 years from now, dude. That can be 20 years from now. So.
Oh, I could live that long. I'll live a long time. My dad lived to be 87. My uncles were all in their 80s.
So As you were talking about what it was about Transformers. Were you saying more than BCI? Dudes in disguise.
No, I'm talking about the trans.
I know that's a joke.
It's something that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. Parents telling their kids, you're a little girl.
Dude, I've heard it like this: parents using their children as accessories. In other words, I want a boy, I want a girl, and then I want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The parents are convincing that child. And that child is just he doesn't have the right mentality yet in the brain, to figure out what is what. So when you get older, when you hit 18 years old, hey, I want to be this, let them be that. They can be whatever they want to be. But to have your child and the parent convincing that child that little boy's a girl or that little girl's a boy, you take that basketball player there. It's a guy playing on a female team. Hey, they're they'll throw them people away, them girls away on the court. The swimmer, out swam them girls.
Hey, I gotta do some investigating on that, man. I mean, I could look right now, man, because I almost want to say I don't believe you, because I don't know. All I know is that again, it was the trade off was for a Russian arms dealer. That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all I know. I mean, I'll Google it right now, but
she's on women's basketball. I think she quit. She's not going to play no more, I guess, or something. But he's married to another girl. Oh no, that's taken away a lot of stuff right there. Or a girl can marry a girl and a guy can marry a guy.
Well, hey, I heard. Okay, look, I heard that Biden just passed a law to where it's like a same-sex law that they're gonna push in churches, where they force a church to marry a homosexual couple.
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll ever fly.
Dude, this president we have is he is so absent-minded. I've prayed for him, but he's so absent-minded. This guy's really digging his hole deep in hell, because he promotes it. He promotes it like it's the flavor of the term, the flavor of the month, but the flavor of his term as president.
Yeah. He's going to run again. He thinks he's going to win. He ain't going to win.
Oh, heck no, dude. He's too old. I mean, he's not going to. His popularity is definitely dwindled. But like I said, my opinion is that he didn't win that first election. But see, Trump, he's got too much of an ego. I saw something recently where he's advertising trading cards of himself and his life. And it's whoa, calm down, dude. You're the man. You're the man already, dude. You've got it. All right. Stop everything else. Just stop everything else, dude. You've got that. You've got this next election. You should be a shoo-in. That's it. Regardless of any form of meddling that there may be, even people who are on that Black Lives Matter wave, that rode that wave. And whomever else, that had opinions of him then, and whatever those opinions were then, let's say 3 years ago, I would say at least a third of those people now look back and they're like, you know what? He was a good president. Shit happened. That's it. Shit happened.
When Trump was president, everybody was working. Everybody had money in their pocket. Everything was flowing. People had their jobs. The pipeline for the oil and that from out of Canada going through, the Dakotas and that. The ex-con, whatever they call it there. That everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. They were. Everybody was doing things.
Hey, I heard.
Now everything comes to an end. And now they're blaming this on this virus that's going around. They're blaming all that on that now. It ain't got nothing to do with it.
This virus has been overrated. Now it has. I mean, there was right now. the way I look at it, it's like the flu. Going back to energy, you have that push with this with this Democratic presidency was we're going to get away from fossil fuels and we're going to go towards renewable energy of some sort, and solar or whatnot. And then come to find out that in order to power all that renewable or all that clean energy, you still need to depend on fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And then this push for electric cars, there's not enough electricity. There's not enough electricity produced if everybody had an electric car.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And their electric cars aren't that safe either. People are crashing with them and shit, telling anybody went right into a building, fucking crazy. Yeah. But, if they're going to do something like that, let everything flow the way it's flowing with the gas and the oil and all that, and then work on that kind of stuff in the backfield. Don't stop everything right now and then start doing this shit, new energy and all that, rebuild your house to a different, standards, put less windows in it, keep the heat in, all kinds of shit like that. I don't know.
There's a house. There's a house in my neighborhood. There's a house in my neighborhood that has solar paneling on the roof, and I mean a lot, like half of that roof. It's a half of the roof is solar paneling.
Right.
That's impressive. I mean, granted, the neighborhood I live in, the neighborhood I live in is not dilapidated. It's a good neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
that's uncommon. That's uncommon to see. Like they're ready. It's like I wonder if they have like an underground bunker somewhere, like they're prepared in the event of a catastrophe that they're going to rely on solar energy.
Yeah. But see, that's the way it should be. That person put that up on his house, and yet everything is flowing. The gas is going, the oil, and all that kind of stuff, And he put that up there before all this shit came up. That's the way it should work. Not stop everything, stop the oil flow, and make the gas prices go high, and all that bullshit like that. Leave everything the way it was. Look at our gas, how cheap it was when Trump was president.
What was it? How much was it a gallon? Because I don't know. How much was it a gallon?
I think it was like $2.30 a gallon.
Okay, now because you drive, what is it now?
It's $2.67.
Okay, but what was it at its peak during his presidency?
The highest was $3.99.
No, I think it was at $5. Remember, everybody was pitching a fit, saying that they're going to have to pay like $5 a gallon.
Yeah. Some places are like that, yeah. But I go to these Arabian places, where they're a little cheaper.
You talking about like the BPs?
BPs, British Petroleum, and then one from, I don't know where the hell they're from, but they're turban head, them people. What
a polite way to put it.
I'm trying to Saudi Arabia,
Okay, Saudis.
The Saudis over down here on 27th Street, down past Wisconsin Avenue, our capital, and they're cheaper. They're like 10 cents cheaper, 12 cents cheaper at some places. But right now BP's at $2.62, something like that.
Hey, give me a second. I want to grab. Give me a second. I want to grab my inhaler because my asthma just acted up. Hold on. All that BS about, well, if you stop smoking that, the wheezing can go away and whatnot, man.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. So check this out. I go to the doctor, right? I went to the doctor yesterday, and because I've been having those issues where I have to piss a lot. And then my doctor was telling me something too. He's like, you got low testosterone. He's like, my testosterone is that of a 60-year-old man. And little did I know that, like, when I had tests conducted like 8 years ago, right? And the doctor I had then, I asked him about my testosterone level, and he said, "Oh, it's within range." Well, the doctor that recommended me to the guy that I seen yesterday, he told me, he was like, "No, your test results from 8 years ago were the same. You know, you have a testosterone deficiency," he said. And I'm like, wow, you know, like this explains much, right? I'll leave it at that. I'm like, this explains much. Well, I go to see this doctor because like this whole issue with having to urinate so frequent, or these urges. And then I figured it was, you know, also because I was going to see this urologist because the testosterone thing. So I finally get a lot of time it came by, had been between checking in and then finally seeing the doctor. So I'm talking to him and he asked me, he's like, "So young man, so what so happens to bring you here today?" So I talk about the constant pissing. And then I'm like, I talked about the testosterone, you know, like he asked me what brought me there. And so I'm telling him, you know, the whole reason why I'm seeing him is because I'm thinking it's because of the testosterone, and also though because of I'm being told it's my prostate, even though the lab work came back that my prostate was not enlarged. So, dude, right away, like, dude, the guy cuts me off and he becomes rude. He's like, well, I'm not here. I'm not here to help you with your testosterone. And he tells me it's a name for another kind of specialist. And dude, once he started acting like, once he took that approach with me, when I would talk to him, I was like, "Can I ask? Can I ask? Can I ask?" It's so odd, so strange to me, because I've never had a doctor be like that, man. To me, it was rude. Like, I don't know, it was because I had state insurance that he was this way. I mean, he asked me like what I did for a living. I told him, I said, "I'm a CNC machinist," right? And he's like, "CNC machinist," and I'm thinking, I was gonna tell him, well, it's abbreviated for computer numerical control, but it's like, look, dude, I'm not living. Look, I have a trade. I have a trade. You have a trade. I have a trade. My trade is nowhere as good as your trade, but let's be a little kind to one another. How about that? How about be a little professional, however you want to put it, but to just go ahead and just shut me off like that. But you asked me, like, what am I here for? Well, I'm telling you what I'm here for. I'm not telling you I'm here for an earache, but you're going to be looking at my testicles and my penis pretty soon, which that caught me by surprise. He's like, "Drop your drawers," and, checking me all down there. And
yeah.
Then he goes and he tells me, cause they did an ultrasound kind of like scan of my bladder area and prostate. And he's like, "Well, it's not your prostate. I think it's your bladder." So then he's like, "Well, I'm going to prescribe a medication for you." So I said, "Well, it's not finasteride, right? And it's not tamsulosin, right?" And he's like, "No." And then he starts telling me about finasteride. Now I think he's going to tell me why, because I asked him. I said, I noticed right away that he was not a sponsor of. He was not pro those two medications. So I'm like, "Well, can you tell me why you're against those two?" And I figured he was going to say like what is most commonly advertised as far as side effects. And the guy was telling me it causes dementia. He was telling me about things in terms of like psychological effects. Here I thought he was going to say physical effects. But anyhow, he's going to prescribe some medication that's going to be for my bladder. And then he said he might put a tube up there, up my wiener, but just to see like if there's anything blocking it, because like if there's like a kidney stone or a bladder stone. I didn't know there was such things as bladder stones. But that was my day yesterday. And then also, you went ahead and you gave me the old stickeroo, you know what I mean by that. And then I'm like, he poorly wiped me, so I'm like, hey, you think I could get like I was like, I didn't say you think you could give me. I was like, can I get some of those tissues? And the guy wouldn't give me any tissues to wipe myself. But he did such a poor job. And here I have to take the city bus. When I leave out of this office, I'm going to take the city bus. and right now it's 20 degrees outside. It's in the 20s.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to be like cold on the outside. Well, cold on the outside, and also kind of like, you know, freezing down below my between my ass cheeks, because I got this gel liquid, this gel there, because you just decided you were only going to use one sheet, like as if I'm not worth 2 sheets, and they're not even allow me to wipe myself and tell me, well, we don't allow people after they conduct a prostate exam to wipe their own self in that same room that the doctor's in. I'm like, incredible, man.
You know, I was just reading about that. You know, U.S. passes that $31 trillion debt. You know, and now they made it worse. Now is the interest rate. You know, went up. Everybody's IOUs are on hold. You know,
Dude, this country owes so much.
Yeah, this country, we're $31 trillion in debt. That's Biden. Biden sending trillions of dollars all over the place. You know.
Well, you know
what about
killed
American people? What about us? Why don't send billions of dollars over to Ukraine? Why don't give us some money? Give us that money.
How about this? How about stop giving out money? How about stop giving out money?
Oh yeah. That was bad.
No.
I didn't turn it down though.
I'll tell you what, when I was in prison, everybody got that stimulus money. That was incredible, dude. You had people that were in prison that were getting, it was like, I would tell guys, I said, it's the year of the prison baller, because somebody who may not have ever had anything, now they had it all. They, you know, and I'm not gonna shit on them, but I thought to myself, they're just giving out money. Like if somebody, I wonder how many people knew that people that were incarcerated got the stimulus money. I got it all. I ended up getting like $3,200, man. The Lord blessed me. I ended up getting all 3 checks. Now, of course, one of them got taken for child support. Fine, whatever. I hope the money went to my son and not to some guy that she was dating.
Right.
You know. But how about instead of giving money, no, like stop spending money. This government needs to, this country needs to stop. For one, all this idea that we need another program, we need another social program. People need to realize that the more you depend on the state and federal government, the more control they have in your households. No matter if you're even living in a cardboard box, people, they are going to have a portion of that cardboard box, whether you like it or not. The more you involve yourselves with the government, like, I don't want state insurance, but right now I will accept state insurance. I don't want food share. I don't receive food share. So I make myself a hypocrite even when I say these things, right? But at the same token, I'm not trying to get, I want to wean myself off of
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be self-supported.
Absolutely. Because by doing so, you are closing the door on Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's this, I don't know. That welfare stuff, you don't even have to ask for it and you give it to you. You know, whenever you're on Social Security, SSI and stuff like that, and you don't make enough money and shit. You know, I don't know how to do that, but they automatically get it.
Well, I'm not now. Social Security, that stuff, like, I'm not against that at all. I'm not against that. You know, that's like, because you know what? You've got jobs today that there is retirement, like a retirement package is, it's like, it's almost like Bigfoot. It's like, you saw Bigfoot? It's a myth. It's a legend, you know, depending on where you're working at. And now, I mean, I work for a small company. I understand why there is not a retirement package there, but for these bigger companies, man, you know, people 50 years ago when they retired with a package and they lived off of that. They were getting, you know, monthly installments. They were able to retire off of that money and then still collect their Social Security. Today,
yeah,
that's all done away with. You got 401k, And I'm in support of 401ks, but it's, like I said, I'll say this: I'm not against people with, Social Security. Absolutely not. The elderly, nobody wants to see elderly people homeless, and that's basically their retirement package. So we shouldn't be taking that away. Americans should not be in vote of taking that away. Neither should anybody who's in office.
Well, they talk about getting rid of Social Security. They talk about doing something.
Tell you, you get rid of Social Security, and you're going to open up. You're going to open up yourself a can of worms. That's like
social credit. You get social credit that way. There, ain't no money. You don't see no money. You just go down and get what you got to get, and that's it. They give you a certain amount of social credit, and that's it. If you got low social credit, in time to come, you won't be able to travel nowhere because your credits don't allow it.
Alex Jones talks about stuff like that, the social credit score, and also there's another guy too. His name's Brandon House, and I always tell I can't say I always tell, but I tell people, I say, man, you should watch Brandon House. Then if you support this view or that view, and it's similar to his show, World Weekend Hour. I say, man, that's exactly what Brandon House was talking when I was in prison. I was watching his show on the Christian station, and he was talking about the credit score and how you won't be able to do this or that because you won't unless you have social credits. Then I get out and I'm listening to Alex Jones again, and he's saying the same thing. But you got so many people that you see it implemented. So apparently, from what Alex Jones says, that is already implemented in China, and this whole talk about some guy named Klaus and some world geo, some shit, whatever. Like people these world leaders getting together and wanting to format their own countries like that of China and its credit score.
Yeah. Well, that'll all fall onto everything. If they give you that social credit thing and you got low social credit, you're only allowed to stay home. You won't be able to go nowhere. You can't, I want to go to Arizona. I won't be able to go to Arizona because I don't have enough credit to go to Arizona. Because you got a set amount that you got, and that's it.
This whole thing with climate change too. I think that has something to do with it too. It's like if you go, there
ain't no climate change. There ain't no, that's evolution. That's the way it is. Things returning. It's like a circle. You started out with a circle and completely going into that circle. You take the Arctic Circle. It's melting. Hey, that used to be green. Trees, rivers, animals, creatures flying around and all kinds of shit. And then they say it's climate change because cars are puffing out this shit out of their cars and all kinds of stuff. And what about in the ozone? Hey, they're sending these fucking rockets up into space. Sure, that's going to interfere with the goddamn ozone. It ain't got nothing to do with us on this earth. The ozone holds things in.
Hey, I heard that the government's finally come forward and acknowledged chemtrails.
Yeah, hey, that's bad shit. And that's another thing about that chemtrail shit. This falls back on without that spraying in the sky. A while back, when he first started spraying for the gypsy moths, it started on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. And then a year later, these deer were starting to get, deer disease, whatever they call it, And it was from that chronic waste, I guess.
Yeah, chronic wasting.
Yeah, they're saying we're feeding the animals, we're putting apples out, baiting them in that, and that's what's causing it. Bull fucking shit. They've been doing that for thousands of fucking years, baiting. Nothing wrong. It's that spray that gets onto the trees and onto the grass, and those deers are eating that shit, and they're getting it.
So that's the cause. You're telling me that's the cause then, huh?
Yeah, that's the cause. Damn right it is. I mean, every time you spray, the deer get worse. Look at now upper Wisconsin, up north there. Deers are getting that chronic waste disease there. Also, it's all over the place. We mean everybody's doing that. Everybody's putting apples out for the deer. Hey, the deer coming back home back in the day, the deer used to come in our yard and eat the apples right up our yard, you know. I mean, there was no diseases. There was nothing wrong with our animals back in the day. Now pigs got these diseases and cows got diseases and you know, your food is bad and everything.
So
chemicals in our food.
You talking about the pig? You talking about swine flu, and mad cow disease, and now chronic wasting.
Yeah.
And then the chickens. What's up with the chickens? What do they call the chickens?
Yeah,
Is that just bird flu
that's
too?
Another thing. It's the feed. It's the chemicals they put in there to make the crop better, get more crop, you know. And then they give it to the chicken, and the chicken is eating this poison. You know, it's all about what they're doing. It's not what, you know, what the government is doing with all these chemicals and shit. Look at our drinking water right now. We got this chemical in there, forever chemical, you know.
Oh, that's in all the water now, dude. I don't know if we talked about that. I know I have spoken with others.
Yeah,
and that's in the rain. That's in the rain. If you stick your tongue out while it's raining, you're going to get a taste of them forever chemicals, whether you taste or not. It's in there.
Oh, yeah, that's in that spray stuff. When spraying in the sky, that's got all them chemicals in it, lead and silver, whatever it is. You know, a lot of poison in there. But we can't do nothing about it. All we can do is talk about it.
Hey,
you know?
There's people buying bottled water, right? And they buy bottled water under the pretense, the notion that this water is filtered. It's, you know, it's good for drink. But the thing about forever chemicals in bottled water is that if it comes from a spring or a glacier, well, guess what? It's going to have forever chemicals in it because it's not filtered after the fact.
You know,
right? Now think of it. These people are buying natural. They believe it to be natural water from either a spring or a glacier. But this water that's coming, that's going, the water that being delivered to the spring and the glacier is coming from the clouds, and the water that's coming from the clouds is called rain. And every droplet of rain now has forever chemicals in it. So the only way to avoid it is to have your water go through a filtration system of some sort.
Yeah, but you still have some sort of chemicals, you know, backfilled in there. You know, like you were saying something about it filtered out so many chemicals out of your water. But
yeah, 70 with that filter that I got.
But it left the bad stuff in there, though. The parasites.
Well, that's microbes. That's if you got.
You want to get out of your water. You want to get the parasites out of your water.
Wow.
And you don't, because that's the main thing in the water, the parasites. You know, you don't want to filter out all your copper and zinc, whatever's in your water. You know, that copper in the water, we drink that for years, and that's part of our chemicals in our body. You know, that helps us. You know, but they do all that crazy shit. You know, I don't know what this. It kind of bewilders me a lot about the way this is going. You know, our water is our main supply of life. You know, and I can't even drink this shit because I could taste every fucking thing in that water. Nasty, sewer water, drinking fucking shit.
Turtle farts.
Yeah, it's bad. It really is bad. You know, and then you put this chlorine in there. Chlorine is a chemical that they used in some of the bombs, you know, to kill people. I'm trying to figure what that was, but I guess my brain ain't functioning well today. But yeah, this world is all fucked up. You know, and I don't think there's going to be a way to fix it either. If Biden's going to be president again next year yet, you know, in 2024, you know, this world is going to be fucked. You can't have a guy like that running our country, you know, because there can be things done, you know. Things can be done to help people with their water. You know, we had an artesian well back home, and our water was good because when you drank it, you know you're drinking good, clean water. You know, we went over 1,100 feet into the ground to hit that artesian well, and that's by the bedrock, right?
Okay.
And that water was so freaking cold coming out of that well, you snap your teeth. You know, I'm serious, man. But now you drink water, and oh my God, you know, you take the chlorine and the other chemical, whatever they call it. I don't know what it is, but they put it in there to make it drinkable out of the sewer. You're drinking sewer water, you know. This big machine goes there, big blades on it, swooping that stuff around, going through all these filters and shit. And then sometimes when it doesn't work, you get shit out of your fucking faucet, you know. You see little fucking particles in your water. You know, even if you strain that, you're still drinking, you know, maybe about a gallon of piss, you know. It's fucked up. Why? And you won't have people use their own well, you know. Because you got to use city water. You got to use that, you know. You won't let you cap your well off. It's, you know, just like in Arizona, you can't even drill for a well.
Well, isn't that? Tell me why. Why can't you drill for a well in Arizona?
Well, because you ain't using their water.
Okay. Well, I know some. I know some. I know some underwater. What is that called when the water's found underground? What is that called? Which is groundwater? Well, I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because of fracking, there's uncontaminated water that's now contaminated. So there's people's wells that are just, you can't even use them. The first time I heard about this was there was this documentary called Gasland, and they made a sequel. I can't tell you if I watched the sequel or not, but because of fracking, the water was so bad that you could light your tap water on fire. And
well, see, they're going to, because of that, they drill below the water level, beyond the bedrock, and you go beyond that where the stream runs under the ground like that. And when you go through that oil squirts out into that water.
Well, they're natural gas. They're looking for natural gas. So I think it's not oil, but fracking has to do with natural gas.
Oh yeah, fracking. Yeah, that's right. Fracking. Yeah. But still, you know, that's part of what it's all about. Though, gets into your water system.
Dude, in this documentary,
you take South Dakota water, you can't drink that shit anyway. You know. Even without that stuff. I drink that thing, holy Christ, of rotten eggs, you know. Smells and tastes like a rotten egg. You put it in the refrigerator and you drink it, it's good, you know. Otherwise, it's nasty.
Would you agree that that the water that we get out of our faucets is like the freshest water in terms of public works in America? Would you agree with that or no?
No.
But we live by the world's largest body of fresh water. And
yeah, I know. But that doesn't mean that we got the best water in the world.
Well, I said, in America. In America.
Oh, in America? Oh, yeah. Wisconsin got good water. You know, if they're drinking without drinking the sewer water. Yeah. Because all our water, drinking water, is coming from out of the fucking sewer. That's why you got those big things out there in the fields, and you go out by it, you go by it, drive by it, it stinks like hell, you know, but people drink it. I don't.
Well, I drink my water out that faucet filter. Matter of fact, even when I boil, I mean, it's a no-brainer, but like if I'm boiling brats or ramen noodles, I'm using that filtered water. Like the only thing I use my water out my faucet for is to do dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. But when it's hot like that, it gets decontaminated, you know. It takes it breaks everything down. Hot water does. Just like when you make coffee, you know. You don't have it.
Dude, you just reminded me I should make me up a pot.
I just got myself a cup just now.
Dude, you know what I should get you for Christmas? I should get you a I should get you some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And there's one brand in particular that's really good. And it's got a donut on it. And I think it's called Love or something, but it's so good. Like this coffee, like you like your coffee black. So
Yeah.
this coffee, it's flavored black coffee, and it's not heavy flavored. And the aroma just takes over, man. It just it saturates your living space.
You got that coffee out there with Jack Daniels.
Dude, I could have got chicks up. I could have got 5 of those bags for $1 a piece at the dollar store. Jack Daniels coffee, yeah. I turned it down. And then like later on when I went back there, they were gone. But yeah, I was curious as to, how good is this coffee?
You're not going to get drunk on it.
Well, no, I just felt like, will it taste like Jack Daniels? Because if it does, it's really.
I drink it. I had some.
Did it taste like Jack Daniels?
Yeah, it tastes like Jack Daniels, but it's not alcohol.
I get it. Did it taste so? I'm not a drinker. So did it taste? I'm not a drinker, but did it taste like shit? Because Jack
it tastes pretty good.
Okay, all right.
It's pretty good. Yeah. But it's just some kind of a bean that they put in there, I guess, that tastes like Jack Daniels. I don't think they put Jack Daniels in it. I don't think they do.
Who knows? Maybe they place the beans in Jack Daniels and let it I don't know if the correct word would be ferment, but let it just kind of do its thing and then dry it back out. Dry out the beans and then grind them.
Yeah, that could be that. That's probably the way to do it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a big coffee drinker. I don't drink as much as I used to. I used to drink 3-4 pots a day. No, maybe.
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah. Now I drink about a half a pot a day.
Dude, when I was first gone, I used to drink a lot of coffee. But that last year I was there when I had that problem pissing, they came back. They told me that I was dehydrated. They said I was I don't know if they used the word severely. I don't want to be dramatic. But they said I was dehydrated. And I was thinking to myself, all this time for years I drank a lot. I would drink a lot of coffee. I wouldn't drink water throughout the day. I would drink soda, right? Or I would drink coffee. And now you're telling me I'm dehydrated? Then how did I survive all these years? How come all this is just immediately happening now? How's it at this very moment? One thing after another, like a domino effect with my health, with this whole issue of pissing all the time. And then to tell me I got protein coming out of my urine and that my kidneys are only running at 90%. So there was at least a week where I didn't drink coffee, and I did that twice. But then I was like, man, that caffeine is what helps take the edge off in here.
Yeah. I like drinking coffee though, I really do. I used to drink a lot of beer, back in the day. Never drank coffee, just beer. Yeah. Arizona got this problem with their water. You got no water.
Where does their water come from? The dam? From Hoover Dam?
Yeah, from not the Hoover, but Lake Mead. Havasu even went down a couple feet, I guess. But you take millions of people using that fucking water out of there. Sure, it's going to drain sooner or later.
When you talk about water being taken, well, you've got these water bottling companies, and they're bottling the water that they're bottling. For instance, like the Great Lakes, they bottle their water. You got companies who are bottling water from the Great Lakes, and as a result, the Great Lakes has gone down who knows how many inches, but it's been noticeable in certain areas. And like when I hear that coming from you right now, that makes me think, are there multiple, not just one, but are there then multiple water bottling companies around Lake Mead that are making a profit off of this water and not realizing that as they're selling water at ridiculous prices, that they're depriving the citizens who would be given this same water freely.
Yeah. But yeah, Lake Mead is way down, way down, almost a dead pool.
Dude, when you talk about water being way down, have you heard about the Euphrates River lately? Now this is
what?
The Euphrates River.
I never heard of it.
It's on the other side of the world. You could look this up. I don't know if it's in if they consider it the Middle East or North Africa. I don't want to go Googling this stuff, but to find out exactly the geographic location, but they showed a before and after. I think it was like 7 years before and now today. And the water has vastly disappeared. And what they have discovered is that there's these caves and these tunnels where this water had once covered. There's these passages now that were unexplored previously by modern day man.
Oh yeah, some of them caves they went into under the water. They had trees and everything in there. Had a river underneath it, like the ocean got a river running underneath it.
Middle Earth.
I don't know. Just trying to get you here to come in here.
Hey, so how's the Packers playoff hope still going? Who did you want to win?
The Packers got a good chance now. You know, because,
so who won? Who won that you needed to that we needed? Because I'm a Packer fan, but like I said, I'm so disappointed with the season. Who won?
49ers won over
Seattle.
Seahawks.
Okay.
So that brought the Seahawks down, you know, to 7-6 or 7-7. They are. We win all ours, we'd be 9-6, something like that.
We would be 8-7. We'd be 8-7, I think.
No, we're 6 and something right now.
Okay. No, what?
Yeah, we how come they ain't coming down on me here? That's not dog. Let me see if I can find that again.
What are you looking for? The standings?
No, there's a something about social credit thing. You know, but sometimes I noticed too on the internet, when you go on the internet, that they don't want you to see it or hear it. They have it on there, but you click on it, and then it tells you it's not available. You know, they won't let you read it.
We're 5. Listen. The Packers right now, they're 5-8.
Yeah, 5-8. They'd be 6-8 if they win Monday night. We're playing the Rams, so it'd be 7-8, 8-8. We'd be 9-8, or 10-8, something like that.
No, 9-8 because you got 17 games now.
Oh yeah, that's right, 9-8. That'll put us up. That'll give us the 4th place wild card. See, right now they won't let me.
Oh, what you're talking about, like searching. Well, what some people have done is they'll whenever they're looking if they look up something and they can't find it, right, they'll use another search engine. So in other words, if they can't find it with Google, then they'll go with Microsoft Edge. If they can't find it with Microsoft Edge, maybe there's still Firefox out there. I don't know if there is. I mean, I've I've dealt with
I
stuff.
should go get it. Well, it was about the social credit thing. I'll click off to the interview with the headline here. It says, Jordan Peterson issues dire warning, woke, totalitarian social credit system is highly, and I clicked it on and it won't give it to me.
So what you're saying is like they're hiding it?
Yeah, they're hiding it. They don't want people to see that yet. That's the thing about the news too. Who the fuck cares if Luann Zigzag and Paul, Veer there got married and had a kid? I don't care about that. Put that in a different area. Don't put that in the news. Nobody cares. Nobody even knows them people. They put gossip shit in there.
There used to be good news that would be brought out. And maybe it's just my phone.
There's a lot of fake news out there, a lot of it. And it's been proven fake,
I'll tell you what, like I'll give you a great example right now. I'm going to go on my phone. Here it talks about like silly stuff, like 10 cult classics that were buried at the box office by high grossing blockbuster. Another one is the 25 best minor recurring characters from The Simpsons. Ghost ship scene, and like that might be good. Ancient book nobody alive can read. Well, I already know about that. I know what book they're talking about. I can't name it by name, but there used to be some really cool stuff out there for news, and I just feel like maybe it's like I'm getting a lot of like local news, or because of this whole thing with AI and damn, there's a word for it. I can't think of the word, but because I notice sometimes, like when I'm on this search engine on my phone, the stuff that I look up, they'll bring it like that. That I end up finding it in this portion of my phone where I'm trying to find new news, not stuff that I've already come across. Give me, I'm out to explore right now, buddy. So why expose me to something that I'm already more aware of than.
When it breaks down to it, the social credit system is, highly probable, so I don't really have to look at that. They won't let me see it because I click on anything else and it comes in, They hide that shit so you don't read the whole thing, can't listen to it. Yeah. You say Trump may face 25 years in prison.
Well, he's not going to see any of that.
You got to have a high credit rating in order to get good credit on that shit. So if I move to Arizona, I won't be able to come back to Wisconsin. Let's see. Then you had that cheap insurance, right? $29.95 for car insurance. It's cheap. Yeah, that's $29. That's just might say $30 a week. That's $120 a month. That's what would you be paying if you pay monthly. Yeah, the Vikings lost. They played all them losing teams to win with the odds right now. But when you play a team that's up there, they lose.
What's the Vikings standing right now? Where are they at?
Vikings are 10-3.
Dude, that's a great
They're
record.
on top. Yeah, they're on the top. But now they're 10-4 because they lost today.
There was a game today?
Yeah, there was a couple games on today. I think they lost 33-10 or something like that. I'm not sure, but I know they lost.
Well, right now, the way the Packers have played, they can afford to lose a game.
Well, if they do lose them out, they get that first round pick, you know.
Yeah, but the Packers, this whole rebuilding thing, the pieces are already there.
You know who's a good governor?
Who?
Is the South Dakota governor, that Governor Nolan. She's Nolan. Right now, she just terminates the contract for transgenders add to some group. Something in the news, eh?
That would be, I suppose. I thought you were going to say DeSantis from Florida.
Florida. You know, he's a good governor.
They talk about that it'll either be him or Trump that'll win the Republican nomination. Then they say
I don't think Trump is going to make it because they're out there trying to cancel him. You know.
Well, they're talking about that if Trump were to win, that Trump should take DeSantis as his vice president. And
right.
But if things were to go the other way around, and DeSantis were to win, of course, Donald Trump is not going to take a vice president role.
No. Yeah.
So, what did Mike think about your little show here, man? Kenny's Corner. What do you have to say about that? You think it was like?
He thought it was pretty good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about the idea that I pitched to him about him having his own show? Did he tell you? Yeah, did he tell you?
I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah, you know what I told him. I said, dude, you can call it Mike's Meat.
Give him a call, and talk to him, and see what his views are. And
he's so reluctant to answer his phone, but I told him, I said, dude, you could call it Mike's Meat, right? Check this out. Check out this layout. I say, man, you call it Mike's Meat, and then the face of your show, like the picture of your show, would be like a guy holding a piece of meat or whatever, But when I mean the word meat, I mean MEET, as in like, let's get together, let's meet. But I thought it was just like so. I think that's just so creative, and it's pretty cool, And I told him, I said, dude, you were in the military. You know how many people would love to hear somebody, a veteran? I mean, you're a veteran. You served this country. For Mike, I was like, dude, you were in the military. So how people would love to hear what you have to say. At least those who were in the military, that's quite an audience right there. And the fact that he does pay attention to the news. Like when you talked about with your last show about dildos and these pocket sex toys being handed out to kids at school.
Oh yeah, they're teaching kids, man. That's another thing. That should never be in school. That should never be there. You know that should never be in school.
So you would agree that like a line has been crossed that should never have been drawn. Well, that shouldn't even have been crossed to begin with.
Yeah.
You hear about the drag queen story time at public libraries? Oh my goodness, dude! Alex Jones, I guess like a couple years ago. I mean, this is still going on now, but a couple years ago, in Austin, Texas, you had grown men that were showing up as women, and they were having kids bounce around, jump on their laps, bouncing on their genitals, and Alex Jones was saying that you got this guy, he's got an erection, and this kid's jumping up and down on his private area, And but how did this come about? Because they had this drag queen story time stuff It might even gone as so far as to be brought into the schools.
Yeah, they brought that one into the school. That drag queen, I can't figure. I don't remember her name though. His or whoever it is.
These are wild times we're living in America.
Yeah.
Think about like 50 years ago. The people who lived 50 years ago, if they were given a survey of what 50 years in the future would be like, I don't think any of them would have been accurate.
No.
And then for them to hear, well, you know what's going to happen 50 years from now is that you're going to have kids who are going to be able to decide for themselves their own sex. And not only be able to assign their own sex, but elect to have surgery done that'll physically alter them for the rest of their lives. I think people would think that's just too wild to ever happen. Unless you're a Bible believing Christian and you'd look at it from like the book of Revelations, but people who wouldn't be aware of that would just say that that'll never happen. And yet, like, we're living in a period of time where that has happened and continues to happen. And then you got a lot of groups apart from a talk of sexual orientation, where you got a lot of people who are living in this country who don't love this country anymore. Like they're like, they hate America, but they live in America. Like it's as if they weren't brought up to appreciate the country they lived in. Like I remember I could sing, you know, I was it be an American because at least I know I'm free in the land. Gave this life to him. I remember that song when it first came out. That was such a cool patriotic song. But it's like there's not many people are patriotic anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to get ready in about an hour from now. I should be starting the Manwich Show.
Yeah.
I'll call you then, dude. We'll plug you in.
All right.
You know what I would say between now and then? Go look up some Alex. Go look up some Alex Jones shit, dude. I think that's what we're going to talk about today is Alex Jones. There's a lot of content there, man. You talk about a guy who right now is going through the ringer, but there's so many.
Share it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm going to share it on YouTube. I'm going to share my.
He's on YouTube, ain't he?
No, they yanked him.
What is he on?
He's on InfoWars now. You got to go. If you Google Infowars.com, you'll find the show.
Really?
Yeah, and you listen to the radio. You can listen to the radio. But he's also got something called BannedVideos.com, where he shows stuff that you can't typically see, and it's not illegal content, but it's just content that social media sites would ban because of his name attached to it, or like his proprietary influence attached to it. I'll be honest with you, I'll probably even listen to some right now because I haven't listened to much of his broadcasting this week on account of things were going kind of down south at my job, and instead of usually like listening to his radio broadcasts, I was more focused on just not listening to anything and then just running this CNC machine, whether it's set up or just pressing cycle start. But I'll probably talk about more about that in the podcast too, man. Like, so bummed out. I was so bummed out this week, man.
I got him online right now. What? I'm watching Alex Jones show.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is 7 hours ago.
Hey, I think every single day they do a broadcast.
Yeah, he got the most censored news broadcast in the world.
Well,
banded.
I love you, and should be calling you back at the latest, like an hour and a half from now, dude. So I love you,
Okay.
Kenny. I'll catch you later. Until then, all right, man.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.